Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. To me, though, I say this often, but oftentimes the more interesting story in a game like this, it is in the losing locker room, okay? And so with Alabama, we're going to discuss what it means for the one seed, this, that, the other thing, etc. But I do think there is a conversation that is happening right now with the Auburn Tigers. Auburn, of course, as I said, clinched the SEC regular season title last Saturday at Kentucky with the win against Kentucky, with the loss by Alabama. But they've now lost two straight. And I think there is a conversation happening in college basketball right now. Not that they're going to fall off the one line. I think even if they lose their SEC tournament opener, they might still be the number one overall seed. They will get a number one seed regardless. But it's about with two straight losses, is it possible that this team is regressing at the worst possible time? Well, I will tell you this, for Auburn fans tuning in, I got good news and bad news. I don't think you're regressing. I do think you have a little bit of an issue, and it's that that second leading scorer of yours that can't stop getting in trouble in the middle of games. First off, I'll tell you this. I want to defend Auburn for half a second. I don't believe it is panic time, code red. This whole season has been a sham. I'm sorry, I don't believe that, okay? First of all, you lost at the buzzer to a top 10 team that was a preseason top 5 team that might be a number one seed in the NCAA tournament, okay? You lost at the buzzer. The shot goes the other way. You're going into triple or double overtime against your rival at home. You probably find a way to win, okay? So I'm not that worried. After losing to Alabama, Texas A&M was equally desperate. And I think there's a few variables at play with Auburn. First of all, Auburn's been playing high leverage, meaningful games since the first week of the season. So I went back and looked it up. I was like, okay, so the Houston game was the first big game for Auburn. It was on November 4th, I believe, was the day of that game. It was the first Saturday of the season. You know how long ago it was? Ohio State hadn't even lost to Michigan in football when Auburn beat Houston, let alone gone on a national championship run. That's how long ago it was, and Auburn has basically been playing high-leverage games since then. Houston, right to Maui, 3 big games there. Come home, go to Duke, big game there. After Duke, you have Ohio State. After Ohio State, you have Purdue. After Purdue, you go right into league play in the best league we've ever seen. So they've been playing high-leverage games, and I don't think it's time to panic and say that this team is regressing. The other thing, also worth noting, not 100% right now. Denver Jones, they're probably their best perimeter guard, their best perimeter defender. I should say their best perimeter defender, not their best perimeter guard. He's been banged up, and he's tried to gut it out. He's tried to play through it. But listen, I think there's a lot of teams, especially these really good teams, that can use 4, 5, 6 days off just to kind of refresh and recharge at this time of the year. Auburn doesn't play again until Friday, okay? So that means they're probably taking Sunday, Monday off, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday they'll travel. So you're really getting about 5 days off. And I think that's probably something that Auburn needs at this time. Again, just a ton of big high leverage games all season long. You can say, oh, they clinched it a while ago, but it's like, dude, 2 games against Alabama this month, a game at Texas A&M, a game at Kentucky. I mean, it was not easy down the stretch for Auburn. And so I believe the high leverage games, listen, I think there's a variable of, I do think they probably took their foot off the gas a little bit, and the opponents that they were playing were more desperate. And so I don't know that I would totally panic if I was an Auburn fan. One thing I will say, though, the one place that I would be concerned, Auburn, Bruce Pearl, I love Bruce Pearl. I'm not going to tell him how to run his program. He's been great to me through the years. He's a great coach. He's an icon, okay? You got to get Chad Baker Mazara under control, okay? And so for people who did not watch this game, for people who do not know, maybe you watch your own team, you don't watch a ton of Auburn, you don't consume college basketball outside of your own team. Chad Baker Mazara is essentially probably, we could go ahead and call him the Dylan Brooks, the Draymond Green of college basketball, the kind of guy that really kind of gets under people's skin, the kind of guy that, kind of annoys everybody. The kind of guy, like, it's the old cliche, but I think there's absolutely something to it, of the guy that you hate when he's on the other team and you love when he is on your team. Well, we're starting to get to the point where I'm not saying that Auburn fans don't like having them on their team, but like, again, Bruce Pearl, you got to get this guy under control, man. Chad Baker Mazara, second leading scorer. By the way, third on the team in minutes, fourth on the team in minutes. He plays a big role. But this is a player that if you follow college basketball, he's gotten a little bit of trouble here over the last couple of years, okay? If you go back to last year's NCAA tournament, remember, Auburn entered the tournament red hot, won the SEC tournament. We're playing really well. Go into the NCAA tournament. They face off against Yale. They lose to Yale in the opening round. This isn't to make fun of Auburn, make fun of Bruce Pearl, make fun of this. It's just the reason they lost, a big reason they lost, this guy right here, Chad Baker Mazara, got kicked out of that game in the biggest game of the season for doing something dumb that was totally avoidable. By the way, the first Bama game this year in Tuscaloosa, there was a moment where he, like loose ball, dives into the stands. He starts chirping at this woman. Now, I found out after the fact, I think the woman's father is like one of the biggest boosters in Alabama. But the point being, chirping with fans has to be pulled back. And then on Saturday, what we saw, listen, I think even most Auburn fans would say it was just totally unacceptable. If you did not watch this game, if you missed this game, what you need to know is pretty simple, is that it was a back and forth game, physical game. I get it. And Auburn fans, some would tell you, like, listen, there was a couple plays, couple cheap shots on Chad Baker Mazara. Okay, I get it. He had his hand stepped on. Okay. Well, as we saw on video, because the video has gone very viral, I posted the video. It's done well over 1 million views on my Twitter page. Chad Baker Mazara, in a fit of anger, going up for a rebound. He doesn't even go up for a rebound. He just stands behind Chris Youngblood from Alabama and gives him a shoulder, an elbow to the back of his head, like a hard elbow. Producer Matt, thank you for pulling that picture up, because you can see this is a full, a full whatever. This is not a tough physical play down low. This was aggressive. This was malicious. It was inappropriate. Frankly, it's kind of lucky Chris Youngblood, there was no serious injury there, but Chad Baker Mazara was ejected from the game. And so as you can see, Producer Matt, you can keep the tweet up. It's good. As you can see, this is what I tweeted after that incident. I said, quote, I've loved watching Auburn all year, and I've been a defender of Chad Baker Mazara. But this picture in the lower left-hand corner is wildly inappropriate and unnecessary. And so, first of all, I want to clarify what that tweet means, because I had a lot of Alabama fans like, wow, Torres, you're a real scumbag defending him. When I say I've defended Chad Baker Mazara, what I mean by that is that basically I have basically acknowledged that the good of the energy that he brings to Auburn outweighs the bad, where he's a little bit of a loose cannon. Let's call it what it is, okay? And so that's what I mean when I say that I've defended him. It's not I've defended every behavior. It's I've defended the fact that he's kind of the emotional leader of that team, and they kind of feed off his energy when it's positive, but it's also getting to be too negative. And so to me, plain and simple, they got to get this guy under control, because this is now a lot of big games, a lot of cheap shots, as many people have commented in the comment section too. Not like this kid's a 19-year-old freshman that's trying to figure things out. 25-year-old, 60-year senior, born in 2000. There's a lot of guys at his age that are working at Enterprise right now, and he's playing college basketball. And it's like, you got to be smarter than that. And I do worry a little bit for Auburn. I don't worry about the team. I don't worry about matchups. But listen, the margin for error in the NCAA tournament is so thin. One bad play, one bad this, one bad that. You get ejected in a tournament game. We saw last year how quickly it can flip. And so I don't know what the answer is. I trust Bruce Pearl. I trust that staff. They're great at what they do. I'll be real. This might be controversial. It might sound dumb. If I was Auburn, if I was that staff, I'd suspend him for the SEC tournament opener. I would tell him, hey, listen, man, enough is enough. You can play on the edge. You cannot go over the edge. And we just can't let you be out there doing whatever you want to do at any given time. And if you lose that SEC tournament opener, you lose that SEC tournament opener. You have to, at some point, not just let this dude do whatever he wants and skate by with it. Getting ejected from the game simply is enough. By the way, producer Matt, who's an Auburn alum that is excited to be in San Antonio because he is hoping to see his Tigers there, just DM me privately, said he agrees. Auburn fans are saying that this guy needs to be suspended for a game. We're not saying he's a bad human being. I don't know him personally. I'm sure he's a great guy. But on the court, he doesn't go up to the line. He crosses it too often, and I think it could cost Auburn. And so to me, listen, I'll be real. I'd rather it cost me a game in the SEC tournament that you might win anyway. You're probably going to play either Ole Miss or Arkansas. You just destroyed Ole Miss 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now, Arkansas might be a little bit of a different deal, but even if you play Arkansas, you're going to be playing them on a third game in 3 days for a team that has 7 healthy players, okay? Suspend them. Let them know that that's not acceptable, because to me, that's the thing that can hold them back. It's not talent. It's not coaching. It's not depth. It's not size. It's not scoring. It's, is this guy going to get ejected at the worst possible time? And that is my biggest concern for Auburn right now. I don't know what else there really is to say. You got to be better. Just got to, like that old cliche on Twitter when it's like, you need be better. It's like, no, Chad Baker Mazara, just be better, dude. Just don't be a jerk, okay? You can play physical and tough without being a jerk, and too often he's been a jerk.